Hey everybody, welcome to Friday Evening Yin. I'm Erin and I'll be leading you through our class tonight. Uh, you'll have the option of using a couple of blankets and a block for this sequence. And other than that, we're going to get started in a comfortable seat. So finding yourself in any seated shape. Allowing the sits bones to be connected to the ground. Finding a place for the hands to rest on the body. And finding some length in the spine. And closing the eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, or taking a soft gaze towards the floor out in front of you. And we'll begin by just bringing the attention to the breath. Just noticing how it feels to inhale and exhale. Without trying to change anything, we'll just do a quick scan of the body, starting at the crown of the head and working your way down to the soles of the feet, and just making note of any areas of the body that feel tense or uncomfortable, or tight, painful. Starting to send the breath towards those spaces. And then we'll also do a quick mental and emotional scan, just noting what's going on in the mind as we come into practice today, what you might be feeling or thinking about. And just seeing that it's there. And letting it be there. And next we'll start to bring some depth and length into the breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the nose. Breathing in to a count of 4 and breathing out to a count of 4. And paying attention to where the breath moves into the body. Does it come into the chest or the rib cage? Maybe the shoulders rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. And we'll start to try to consciously draw the breath into the belly as we breathe in, letting it travel up the chest cavity to the chest, lifting the collarbone, and then exhaling, letting the belly fall back towards the spine, letting the chest fall back towards the earth. Taking several more rounds of inhales and exhales at your own pace. And when you're ready, bringing the palms of the hands over the eyes if you've closed them, and then gently blinking the eyes open before removing your hands, letting them fall back onto your legs or lap. And we'll just start by taking some shoulder rolls. So inhaling the shoulders up towards the ears, and exhaling, letting them fall down towards the earth. Inhaling to tense them up, and exhaling, hugging the shoulder blades towards one another, letting the shoulders melt back down. Just taking a few more of these. Reversing the direction, taking them back, up and forward. Maybe bringing the elbows and arms into it a little bit. And we'll find some stillness, the neutral position with the shoulders. And we'll inhale at center, and then exhale to let the right ear fall towards right shoulder, lengthening out the left side of the neck. And here you can play around with the direction of your gaze, maybe shifting down towards the ground or up towards the sky, and just noticing how that changes the sensation in the neck. And the next time your gaze comes down towards the floor, we'll trace the collarbone with the chin, bringing the head through center, and then rolling it off to the left. Left ear comes towards left shoulder. And then taking that gaze up and down again. And the next time the gaze falls towards the floor, we'll trace the collarbone with the chin back towards center once again, and then bring the crown of the head back up to neutral. Next inhale, we'll sweep arms up overhead, Exhale, drop right hand to the floor, left arm comes up and over. Inhale here to extend. Exhale, we'll plant the left hand and then walk hand over hand through center, all the way over to the left. Inhaling to bring that right arm up and over, side stretch. And then exhale to walk hands back through center, over to the right. And just continue taking these side stretches, moving through center to come to one side and the other. Maybe you notice you're able to get a little bit deeper each time you move into one side, maybe dropping down to the elbow. Feeling the hips and the lower back start to open up. Be really opening up, almost lifting the chest up towards the ceiling as you lift that top arm. Just exploring your range of motion in this movement. And let's take one more on each side. And then next time you move towards center, we'll hold here, bringing the hands out in front of you, or keeping elbows closer in for a little bit of support. And rounding over our folded legs. Letting the crown of the head fall towards the earth. And breathing into the outer hips. One more full inhale and exhale. Next inhale, we'll walk hands back in towards the body. And bring the hands to plant behind us. We'll uncross the legs. Windshield wipe out the knees. Ooh, maybe getting some cracks and pops. And then we'll come back forward and recross the legs with the opposite leg in front. So probably whichever side feels a little bit unnatural to you. And then we'll inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale to fold over crossed legs, coming into this hip opening stretch again. And just noticing how it feels different with that other leg in front. One more full breath. And then our next inhale, we'll walk hands back towards the body, bringing palms behind us, uncrossing the legs and taking a few windshield wipers again. And then we'll recross back to our normal side. Once again, inhaling, arms up overhead. We'll exhale to twist over to the right, bringing that right hand to plant at the base of the spine. Left hand can connect to right knee, just coming into a gentle seated twist. And letting the twist originate from the muscles of the abdomen rather than trying to crank or press into the hands. Maybe gaze starts to move over the right shoulder. One more inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. Next inhale, we'll come back to center, fingertips up, and then exhale to twist over to the left. Again, using the muscles of the core to pull us into the twist, and then letting the hands fall wherever we land. Using the inhales to find length through the spine and through the crown of the head, and exhales to twist ever so slightly more deeply. Again, maybe starting to take the gaze over the back shoulder. One more inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. We'll inhale back through center. And then exhale to drop palms to the floor, rocking forward onto all fours. Here, you have an option to grab a blanket and place it under the knees. We'll be on the knees for a little bit here. If you want that extra cushion, that might be nice. And we'll start by finding a neutral tabletop. Nice long spine, just allowing those natural curves to settle in this horizontal shape for the spine. And then we'll start to move into some cat-cow. So we'll inhale to drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale to tuck the tailbone, rounding the back, tucking the chin. Inhale to lift. Exhale to curl. And continuing with your cat-cows, letting your own breath guide the pace here. And then starting to just bring some organic movement into it. So whatever that might look like, maybe moving forward and back, side to side, rolling out the spine. Just doing whatever feels natural, whatever feels good in your body today. And eventually we'll meet back in a neutral tabletop. And then we'll bring toes together, sending the knees out wide. And exhale to send the hips back towards the heels, coming into child's pose. And letting the forehead connect to the floor. Getting really grounded here in our extended child's pose. Take an inhale through the nose. And then exhale to walk both hands over to the right, maybe crossing the left palm on top of right hand. Feeling length through the whole left side of the body. And breathing into that, creating some space. And your next inhale, we'll bring hands back through center. And then exhale, both hands over to the left. Finding that side body stretch on the right side. Next inhale, we'll move back through center to extended child's pose. And exhale. Inhale, we'll lift up through tabletop. Finding that neutral spine again. And then exhale to sit back on the heels, coming to hero's pose. So finding a tall seat on the heels. And finding that long spine once again, that lift through the crown of the head. Our next inhale, we'll stand up on the knees, lifting the hips away from the heels, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, palms come together and drop behind the head, finding a prayer position. Kind of like a little shark fin at the back of the head, lifting the chest. Inhale here, and exhale. Inhale, hands release up overhead. Exhale, palms come down, tabletop. Inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. Exhale, round the back, tuck the tailbone, and send the hips back to child's pose. Inhale, we'll come to tabletop. Exhale, sit back to heroes. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead, seat lifts away from the heels. Exhale, drop that prayer behind the head. Inhale here to lift the chest. And exhale, keeping the tailbone tucked. Inhale, release fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat back, sending the hips to child's pose. And we'll move through a couple more of these kneeling sun salutations. Kind of a gentle way to warm up the body. So from our child's pose, once again, we'll inhale to tabletop. Exhale to heroes. Inhale to lift, arms sweep up. Exhale, prayer drops behind the head, chest lifts. One full breath here. Keeping that tailbone tucked, keeping the ribs knitted together. Inhale, fingertips lift. Exhale, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat back, sending the hips into child's. One full round of breath here. Then inhaling to tabletop. Exhale, sitting hips back to heroes. Inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, prayer behind the head, lifting the chest. One full breath here, keeping the trunk of the body nice and strong, avoiding collapsing into the lower back, so keeping that tailbone a little bit tucked. Inhale to lift fingertips. Exhale, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, curl into cat back, and then send the hips back into child's pose. And take a couple breaths here. Regrounding. Noticing how the body feels after some movement. Maybe you're a little bit warmer. Maybe your heart rate's increased just slightly. And our next inhale, we'll lift back up into a tabletop position. Then we're going to step the right foot back and then ground the inner edge of the right foot. On our inhale, we'll lift the right arm up towards the sky, coming into like a gate latch or a modified side plank. Then we're going to exhale to drop that right palm back towards the ground, drop the right knee back towards the ground, coming back into tabletop. Inhale, this time we'll send the left foot back, grounding the inner sole of the left foot, sweeping left arm up towards the sky. And then exhale back into tabletop. We'll do this a few more times. Inhale, right foot back, right arm sweeps up. Exhale, tabletop. Inhale, left foot back, left arm up. Exhale, tabletop. And continuing with this side plank flow on your own. And play around with the position of the arm. Maybe taking it out long, creating a line from the top foot through the top arm. Maybe taking some big arm circles as you move in and out, just making it your own. And again, feeling that sensation in the side body as we open and lengthen. And we'll take one more on each side. Starting to slow the movement down, make it a little bit smaller. And we'll meet back in tabletop. If you've set up a cushion under the knees, we'll remove that for now. And then we'll come onto the belly. So just sliding forward from our tabletop, sending the legs out long behind us, and then propping up on the forearms to set up for Sphinx pose. Here you have a couple options. You can set up some props underneath the chest and arms, or perhaps underneath the forehead if you want to take a more restorative Sphinx. Just kind of settle into it. Or if you want something a little bit more active and energizing, you can take half bow on each side. So in order to do that, I'm going to bend one knee. We can start with the right knee. You might have to adjust your left arm for stability here, maybe bringing that palm in towards center. But then we'll reach back with the right hand, grasping the foot, and then pressing the top of the right foot into the right palm, creating a little bit of lift. Keeping the chest open. And one more deep breath on this side. And then exhale to send that right foot back towards the ground, re-grounding the right arm. And pausing for a moment at center. And noticing how that feels, and maybe noticing any difference from one side to the other. Before moving on to the left, so bending at the left knee, maybe planting that right palm right in front of your chest at center, and then reaching back with the left hand. And then an inhale, starting to press that left foot into the hand, lifting the chest. Breathing deeply into this back bend. One more inhale. Then we'll exhale to release both hand and foot down to the ground. And then wherever we are, we'll remove any props from underneath the chest or the head if you have taken that option. We'll take an inhale together, and then exhale to lower the chest to the floor, bringing the forehead to rest on our stacked hands. Allowing the low back to release. Allowing the whole body to let go of any tension or holding. taking one more deep breath here. And then inhaling to lift the forehead away, bringing palms under the chest, and pressing ourselves back up to all fours. From here, we'll grab our blankets, and we're going to stack them up to make kind of a long, tall stack, however that's going to look for you. Kind of something that's like roughly bolster sized and shaped. So however you can make that happen with your blankets. And we're going to lay it lengthwise on the mat out in front of us. Next we're going to come to sit, kind of facing the long edge of the mat with our one side of our hips snugged right up to the base of our bolster, blanket bolster. Knees are bent. And from here, we'll inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to walk hands to either side of our bolster and then start to lay the upper body over it, coming into a very gentle supine twist. And just settling in, finding whatever arm position is comfortable for you. Gaze can stay tracked towards the same side as the knees are pointing, or if you want to really deepen this twist, you can take the gaze over to the opposite side. Starting to slow down the breath again. Taking one more round of breath on this side. And then on an inhale, starting to press yourself back up to a seat. And then switching to the other side, bringing the other hip up against the bolster. Knees bent. And inhaling to lengthen the spine. Exhaling to start to twist over and walk hands down to lay the upper body over our support. Reconnecting to that breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Feeling the belly rise and fall with our inhales and exhales. And we'll take one more full round of breath in this twist. And then on an inhale, starting to press back up to that seat one more time. And then this time we'll come to bring the base of the spine right up against the base of the bolster. Bring soles of the feet together to touch, knees fall open. And inhaling in the seat. And then we'll exhale to start to walk hands back, laying the spine down along our support, coming into a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. Letting the arms fall out to the sides or maybe rest on the body. And you can close the eyes here if that feels comfortable. And you're welcome to stay in this shape for the rest of class if you would like. But if you want to move into a different final resting position, I invite you to do so now. In whatever shape you choose, allowing it to be something where you can fully release, relax the physical body. And getting out any last little movements that you might need before finding stillness. wherever you are, finding some depth in the breath again, starting to bring some tiny movements into the fingers and toes, and letting it travel up the body to wrists and ankles, the head and neck, elbows and knees. And then releasing legs and arms out long. We'll roll over to one side or the other, resting the head on your upper arm. Pausing here for a breath or two before making your way back up to a seated position. And eyes can stay closed. Hands will find a place to rest on the body. We'll inhale to lift through the crown of the head. And exhale to bring hands to prayer position at the heart center. Taking a moment for some gratitude for ourselves and our ability to take some time out of our days to practice yoga. Whatever circumstances in our lives allow us to do this. And for everybody else who chooses to join us on their mats. We'll bring hands to third eye center. And exhaling to bow forward, we say namaste. Thanks, everybody. Happy Friday, and have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.